he got his teaching and understanding from what you call the Old Testament. So you gotta take that into consideration when you sit down and you want to learn the Bible, so to speak. You have to remember that he read from what's called the Old Testament, and he taught salvation outright. So what you must understand is he is the one that outweighs any of the apostles. You can't put him up against the apostles and say, well, because see, what happens is you read a quotation from Paul's letters and you think that, okay, this is giving me liberty. This is giving me a certain amount of flexibility so I can basically, you know, for yourself in your mind, you think you can do anything it is you want to do. Basically, that these letters have now given you a gold card to just run roughshod and just do anything on the planet that your lustful heart may desire. Yeah. But you got to understand that when it comes down to dealing with this book and seeking the Father for who he is and what he says, you have to do it pure in heart, meaning you have to repent first off, you have to cleanse yourself, and then start from there and just continue along that avenue or along those lines in order to be a part of the Father's family. You just don't arbitrarily just do everything it is you want to do, and then on Sunday you go to church and now you okay. No, it's not like that. There is work involved. There's a certain amount of obedience that's involved. A certain amount of reading and applying it to your daily life that's involved. Not just basically doing what you want to do and thinking you'll be okay. I'm going to show you, and we read this all the time, but I'm going to reiterate for those who may not understand, Matthew 5:17. We're going to read that.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Because we need to know.
Definitely, that's one of the...
And read Matthew 5:17.
Please, please, you took the... I mean, I'm right there already. I'm right there already. That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
Now, remember, we talk about the gospel of the Messiah.
They butcher this.
They butcher this all the time. He said, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And they stop right there. But see, they think it fulfill means he has taken over, and all you got to do is believe on the Messiah. That ain't what that said, because the rest of this passage will explain exactly what he's talking about.
But you know something, Kazakiel? You're reading that is not all of what they say, because they always forget about the fact that Yehoshua says prophets.
Yeah. Right.
See, they always key on the law. Because it says prophets is one of the very key words here, or a buzzword, to kind of like let us know that he's talking about something other than what they're teaching us.
That's right.
You see?
Correct.
So that's important. So go ahead.
So, as we read down 18, he said, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no way pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Right.
Meaning, the law will never be dissolved until you can, the only time you consider the law being dissolved is in the time when we talk about in Revelation, I saw a new heaven and new earth. Okay?
Right.
If heaven and earth has not passed, it says not one jot or one tittle in no way passed from the law. So how now you dissolve the law? How now can you survive without the law and the teachings? Because the law is the pure, 100% unadulterated gospel. That's 100% pure gospel, the law. Simple as that. The way when the Messiah brought it, he brought clarity.
Right.
He brought understanding to the law. Because there were individuals that took the law and used it to their advantage, used it to prosper, used it to hold over people's heads, to manipulate them. So the law was used as a tool in a negative fashion. So when Yeshua came, he taught and brought clarity to the law. That is the gospel.
Finish.
Okay.
Go to 19.
19. So whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, meaning the law, and shall teach men so, meaning the law, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Stop, hold it for a minute. The thing, the very thing that we talking about here,
Bring it down.
the kingdom of heaven,
Right.
the gospel of the coming of the kingdom.
Right.
What does it just say? Anyone who does what?
Break.
Breaks the least of these,
Or teach somebody to
teaches
break it.
someone
To break it.
break it shall be called what?
Least in the kingdom, and my average person does not know what least of the kingdom is, or least a person who is least in the kingdom. What does it mean, Ella?
You won't be there.
That's right. Who is the least in the kingdom of heaven? Who is the least in the kingdom of heaven? Those people that are in the lake of fire.
That's it.
That's the least. It doesn't mean that you're gonna be in there and you're gonna be receiving all these good rewards. You're just gonna be on the bottom of the scale. No. Least in the kingdom is someone who is in the lake of fire. Because when does the lake of fire show up? It shows up when the kingdom comes.
That's right.
When Yahushua comes back, what? The lake of fire is what? Now on the scene.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, going back, you've got to understand what 5:17 really is saying.
Yeah.
It says, Yahushua speaking says, he says, do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. Now watch this. He says, I did not come to destroy. Now, he said this twice. Now, why did he say he didn't come to destroy it twice? I think he said it twice for a reason. And I think that everything that Yahushua says, he says it for a specific reason. Yeah. The reason why he's saying this, or he's double phrasing this, is so you not to miss, so you won't miss what he's trying to explain to you.
That's it.
You know, this is important, in other words.
That's it.
It says the law or the prophets. So now we got to deal with both of those. You always want to pick on one because in churches they talk about the law is over here and it's done away with, what have you. But Yahushua just said, I didn't come to destroy it. I didn't come to mess with it.
Right.
I didn't come to put it aside, but I come to fulfill it. And that's the word that they trip on. Right. This is the word that they trip on every time. Fulfill. Because a lot of people are under the assumption that the word or the term fulfill means an end. It means to end. So what you're saying, he come to end the law and he come to end the prophets? No. Because remember now, law and prophets are equal. In other words, the very principle of what the law is and what it's saying has to be the very same principle of what the prophets are saying. Because they are on even keel right here. That's why he uses both of them. What Yahushua is saying here is this. He's saying that in the law prophesied about my coming in the flesh one day. That one day, he's saying here that I will come into existence in the flesh. The law is saying it, absolutely. So what he's also saying here is that the prophets prophesied that one day he will come in the flesh, just like the law said. So the law said one day Yahushua is going to show up. The prophet said one day Yahushua is going to show up. So he's saying, hey, look, I'm here standing before you now in the flesh to fulfill the prophetic nature of what the law and the prophets said about me. They say I'm going to come. I'm here standing now showing you that in the law did not lie, and the prophets did not lie. Here I am now to prove that. Okay.
Let's read it.
All right.
Right.
Turn to Luke.
Right.
The 24th chapter.
Got you. Right there with you, Elder.
And we're going to start at verse 44.
There you go, Elder. There we go. Explains this even better.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It says, then he said to them, the disciples, he's talking to them, These are the words which I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me.
Self-explanatory.
All it simply meant was he had to show up.
That's it.
And
He had to show up.
And here I am.
Here I am.
That's what it means by fulfill. Fulfill simply means it has now come, it is now coming to existence.
That's right.
I'm here.
So the prophecy was he would come. So when he comes, he makes the prophecy true. That's all it's saying. Got nothing to do with the destruction, the casting down, the breaking down, or no, the law doesn't exist anymore. Has nothing to do with that. Put your thinking caps on. If you got an ounce of brain, that will register. Because this is now what? Reinforcing what we just read in 5:17.
Right. But turn to Matthew, the 10th chapter. Because here we go again with the message that Yehoshua was bringing,
Yes.
as opposed to the message that the Pharisees and Sadducees was bringing.
Right.
But this is what he said.
Oh,
First we're going to go here, and then we're going to go to Luke, the 16th chapter. But first, we're going to go to Matthew 10, starting at verse 34.
Beautiful, Ellen, beautiful. Simply beautiful.
Right. He says, do not think. That means don't ascertain, don't put it even in your mind. Don't let nothing come into your mind.
And what's the topic of what you're about to read here?
It says, Christ brings division.
Right. Yehoshua brings controversy, division. Right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's why when we read in Matthew 24, he said, they will kill you. They will bring you up to tribulation.
Absolutely.
For the message that you bringing, because you bringing the same message that he brought.
Right. If Yehoshua would have brought the same message that the Pharisees and the Sadducees were bringing, he would have been in the clique. He would have been right there. He would have been their boy, so to speak.
So he says, do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. And that's what everybody says. Oh, he came, he bringing the peace. He come to bring the peace. No, he just told you, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemy will be those of his own household. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it. That's what he's talking about, following in his footsteps.
Absolutely.
But let's turn to Luke, the 16th
But
chapter.
Ella, we got to say this part here.
Go
we
ahead.
got to say this. If I bring you, viewing audience, the message today in the modern church today about Christianity, am I bringing you controversy? No, I'm not. I'm bringing you the same message that they're bringing. Am I bringing you division? No, I'm not. If I bring you the same message that the teaching and preaching in the churches today, am I putting mother against daughter? Am I putting a man against his father? Am I putting a man's enemies? Will his enemies be those of his own household? No, because everybody in the same household, agrees to the same message. So I'm not bringing you controversy. The message that the Pharisees brought to the people back then was not one to bring controversy. The message of Christianity today is not bringing controversy. You see the resemblance there? You see the analogy there? It's the same. But the message that we're bringing you, you better believe that we break up houses or households. You better believe mother gonna believe what we say but daughter not going to believe it.
Yeah.
Father going to believe what we say, but son, he not going to believe it.
Right.
So we're doing the exact same thing. The message that we're bringing is the exact same, and doing the exact same thing that the message that Yehoshua was bringing to the people during the time of his existence here on earth. He was bringing controversy, and like it says right here, it's bringing division. Your message is not bringing no division anywhere.
Right. Well,
It's just continuity. Everything flows together, and everything's fine. You're making a lot of money. You're building a lot of churches. Everything's going great. But I'm going to tell you something. If you understand anything about the message of the gospel, you understand that that is counterproductive to what Yehoshua was trying to bring us. That don't work. That does not work.
that's why we're going to Luke, the 16th chapter, because the same message that the Pharisees brought, that's the same message that you bring in today.
Oh, show me over.
And we finna read it right here.
Show me over.
Matthew 16, starting at verse 14.
Luke or Matthew?
Luke.
Luke 14.
Luke 16,
16.
starting at verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic says the law, the prophets, and the kingdom. But we finna read this. Verse 14, it says, Now the Pharisees, who were lovers of money, also heard all these things, and they derided him. And he said to them, You are those who justify yourselves before men, but Elohim knows your heart. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of Elohim. Because remember what it said in the 14th. It says the Pharisees, the ones who were what? Lovers of money. The same Pharisees today are lovers of what?
Of money.
Money. The gospel of prosperity. Then it says, the law and the prophets were until Yochanan. Since that time, the kingdom of Elohim has been preached, and everyone is pressing into it. The kingdom of Elohim, the kingdom of God, that's the message. That's what's supposed to be being preached today.
That's right.
Not the gospel of prosperity.
That's right.
Why? Because the gospel of prosperity is the same message that who? The Pharisees was teaching. That's the same message y'all teaching today. That's why we're teaching against it.
That's one of them. That's one of them amongst so many others.
Right.
Principles of heaven, going to heaven. You know, he rose on Sunday. I mean, it's endless. The list is endless.
And then it says, and it is easier for heaven and earth to pass away, for one tittle of the law to fail. The gospel of the kingdom is what you're supposed to be teaching your flock.
That's right.
That's the only salvation there is.
Only there is. The book says. That's it. That's it.
It's not about money.
It's one message. One message.
The gospel of the coming of the kingdom.
Like having one master. Can't have two messages like having two masters. And you know what Yoshua said about two masters? Can't serve both. You will love one and hate the other. Same thing.
That's
Same
the thing.
Same principle.
That is the thing.
Absolutely. Same principle.
See, but we always understood that the Pharisees were always against Yehoshua. Always.
Right.
They always tried to trip him up.
That's right.
In any way they could.
That's right.
That was their job. That's what they would always be trying to do. No matter what they did. Here, turn to Luke, the 20th chapter.
Luke 2 on.
Starting at verse 27.
27.
It says, Then some of the Sadducees who denied that there is a resurrection came to him and asked him, saying, Teacher, Moses wrote to us that if a man's brother dies having a wife and he dies without children, his brother should take his wives and raise up offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers, and the first took a wife and died without children, and the second took her as a wife, and he died childless. The third took her, and in like manner the 7 also. And they left no children and died. Least of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife does she become? For all 7 had her as wife. Now remember, the Sadducees didn't believe in the resurrection.
Right.
Or the coming of the kingdom.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
The message. See, remember now, these 2 factions, the Pharisees and Sadducees, were always against him. They were the leadership of what we know as being the church.
Right. That's right.
So the message, he's bringing the controversy.
Right. Controversy, division.
That's what he's
Turmoil,
bringing,
chaos.
the division. And Yehoshua said to them, the sons of this marriage are the sons of this age marry and are given in marriage. But those who are counted worthy to attend that age and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage, nor can they die anymore, for they are equal to the angels and are sons of Elohim, being sons of the resurrection. Hey, that is what? The coming of the kingdom, to be raised into the kingdom.
Right.
The kingdom of heaven, which comes without what? Observation.
Right. Right.
Which Yehoshua is what? The beginning and the end of.
Right.
That's what we've been talking about.
Exactly.
The resurrection, or the coming of the kingdom.
That's right.
Not the gospel of prosperity.
Right. That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
The gospel of the coming of the kingdom.
That's right.
That's the only gospel there is.
That's right.
There is nothing else.
That's right. And it's not, and it was not given by anyone other than Yehoshua.
That's it.
And he gave it to Israel to give to the world. And we, being Israel, are giving it to the world as we speak. But no one is receiving it. We are causing havoc. We are causing chaos. We are causing turmoil within the home. Because that is the way of the gospel of the kingdom. I don't care what age or what period of time the gospel of the kingdom would have been taught or should be taught, it will always be contrary to that of the establishment.
Of the world.
That's right. Of the world, right.
Because it's not of this
Christianity is not going up in opposition against the establishment of this world. The message that they're bringing you is not against the establishment of this world. It is not. Ours, it is.